Alright, there we go. After some unfortunate delays, we are starting JL Season 4 Round 3 in Montevideo. I'm joined here with Skip, commentating
Hello.
the race. How are you
Remember to
doing?
put the zoom on 125%. That's always the good idea. Or whatever sort of feels comfortable with that. I'm doing very well, Eurus. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine as well.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. What a beautiful sunny day it is in Montevideo. Very saturated map.
Yes, it
Lovely,
is, and I
lovely, lovely.
wonder if we're gonna see the famous spinning boats.
Well, you never know in JL. Anything's possible. The League of Dreams. Oh, we'd love to see this. Look at that.
Oh wow,
Fastest lap from Kyoto. Wow. Big
Chiato
man.
with a sub 32 on the first lap, taking a hefty lead on the other competitors, and Goose right behind in second. Let's see if he can keep that quality.
Mm. Hefty lead for Kyoto and a hefty run into the runoff on that second lap. He's not going to improve on this one. Let's see who can try and pip him to the pole. Anyone going for that provisional at the moment? Gwetsley goes fastest. Smirnoff up into third position. Great lap from him. He's just on the edge of that sub 32.
Not
Look
so
at
much
that.
for a Kader, unfortunately.
Yeah, disappointing. 13th only as we go on to lap 3 for the man who's looked so good in Journeyman League so far ever since it became its own standalone league. Bit of CL experience here and there, but let's see if that can get him right up to the top of the timing sheets here as we go on to the final results.
Oh, and I guess it's going to be Gwetsley, it seems.
Yeah, no improve. Oh, there we go. A little bit of lag. I believe that was just Kyoto actually.
It was just a bluff.
Um, just a bluff. He just decided to no clip into the backrooms. Go for the results.
All right, here we go. We have on pole Gwetsley edging out Kiato in second place, Smirnoff in third, followed by Emma Box, Goose, Zekisverse, Toli in seventh, with Tomatoes, Jan Paul, and Two Tank. And off the top 10, we had Kader, unfortunately with a bad quality this race, Stefano, Trixie, Ikolowski, Fox, and finally Daromes.
Slightly disappointing there for Darrow to be outqualified by none other than Fox. What do you think went wrong there?
I'm not
Hard
sure.
to tell.
Perhaps he didn't really practice for this track.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, with a lap like that, you wonder if he knows which way the corners go. But it looks like he will be starting from the very back. Let's get underway with this. Nearly CL time.
Yeah, anything can happen though. You never know, especially in those that first chaos in the first few laps. So it could turn out quite fine for him. We also
Mm.
have the examples of Grandi starting from the back of the grid and still managing to take podiums.
Mm. We certainly
So
do.
yeah, so as long as he keeps his things together and gets a good strategy as well, that might actually be a big part of it. Jan Paul, ready up, please.
And Goose? Yampole, Yampole, Yampole. Ready. Like ready.
Yes, we
Oh
do
yeah,
mean press
Archer.
ready. That is indeed what we mean.
White car. Cool. Ready.
Jan Paul, green and white. Okay, so I guess okay. It's the
And
RBR,
press
I
ready.
guess.
It is the RBR.
And
Same car that Fox last drove in Sunday League.
and there we go. And we're off. Zeki's off the line fast, getting into fifth place. Emma Box pushing into third. We see the top four getting some distance from the rest of the pack. Two Tank with a penalty and seems like he got some issues there, causing some crashes.
Yeah, real problem for Goose there. He had a terrible start. Smirnoff and Zekisverse off there. They've got a bit of history, those very experienced SL drivers. But Goose stalled right off the start, got immediately swamped by his teammate Toli, and the rest of the middle sector and the first sector there were a bit torturous for him as well. We'll have to see how these front three can deal. Kyoto on the soft, so is Emma Box, just slightly edged wide by Kiato there. And we've got Kada here for the Spartan Racing team, wheel to wheel with Smirnov. Can he make some progress? Smirnov looks to get the better exit and will get the slipstream maybe of the cars ahead. Kada looks to come back at him. Can he do it? Totally. And Tank, oh, big crash there. It's Tomatoes and Zekisverse, who went right off the track. The front three still as they are.
Yeah, and Kader managed to make a good recovery, so he started 11th place, and he's already fighting for 4th. So that's, I'm sure he's happy with that. In regards to strategies, we do see most of the grid going for softs, especially at the front, with a few people like Wetzley betting on the hards. What do you think will be the best strategy?
It's really interesting to see. It's obviously it's a short race, only 20 laps, and that will take us ticking over just into the CL time, it looks like. But yeah, should be a fascinating one on the strategy. There was a change made to the pit lanes. We see Smirnoff. Have a look here at Emma Box. Emma Box has to use the runoff, but does use it well and is able to keep that position. Smirnoff looks to just have backed out on that of that one on the exit. Yeah, it should be a really fascinating one. Hards and softies up and down the field.
Yeah, Emma Box made a mistake there at the start of lap 4, which means that Wetzley and Kiato managed to kind of run away from everyone else. Kiato with a good lead on Wetzley, though it's important to keep in mind that Kiato being on softs is going to have a different tire strategy going forward. And I do believe that stretching the softs for 8 laps might be a bit too much.
You might think so. It's definitely a 2-stop if you're going on the softs. Well, it could be. I think Emma just might have shoved off Smirnoff there. It's a very dubious one. Do you go for 3 stints on the softs? You're going to keep those very trim 6, 7, 7, as we see Tank Tomatoes, I think that is, on his outside. They're going side by side into turn 1. Tomatoes has to bail to the runoff, and Tank will take the position whether Tomatoes likes it or not. Red and green Tomatoes in that red and green car.
Yeah.
Should be really interesting. I think soft to hard could be a fun strategy if you need that softer getaway at the start, but don't want to take that second pit stop because it's not a super short lane here. Ike has to go wide there and loses the position to Yampol and Trixie Fox right at the back.
Yeah, and Deroma's managed to climb up to 10th place, so that's not bad considering he started dead last.
The man tipped about a year ago to take on Sunday League, be its next big competitor, currently fighting over 10th place in Challenge League, Journeyman League, apologies.
Oh,
Let's
and
see how...
it seems that Smirnov has pitted already onto the hard, so he's down to 6th, and we see here Emma Box and Zekisverse fighting for 3rd place in the grid.
Fight for the podium. Who's going to get it? Oh, I think Zekis might have just jumped there, made a mistake of his own, or maybe just hit those brakes to allow Emma back into it. I'm thinking it might be the latter, but Emma goes into the pits anyway, so they're not going to be dueling down to the next bit of the track. Darrow and Kada fighting now. They've not been in. Darrow hasn't, at least. Kada is on those medium compound tyres, and he has been into the pit box. So it's only Gwetzley, Zekis, Darrow Mass, as well as Goose and Tomatoes, and then Yampol, Trixie, and Fox not having stopped. It's about half the grid, I'd say.
Wetzley about to lap 2 Tank.
Interesting.
Wetzley, who has not stopped yet, so he will still have to pit. I believe he might be going for a one-stop strategy. So he will be looking to pit on lap 10, perhaps. We'll have to see.
Yeah, Montevideo does have its long straights, first and seconds. We see Clouds. I think somebody's gone deep into the runoff at the 3rd or 4th corner there. It should be a really interesting one because the runoffs can be very forgiving for those who do have worn tyres, as long as you keep it generally off the yellow and black. If you need to extend the track, those blue and white lines are really going to be your saviours. Of course, the colours of the Uruguayan flag. We've got Kada just chasing down Smirnoff. This is, in effect, the fight for... oh, sorry, I don't think that's quite right, actually. Yeah, Toli, Daramas, Ike, Goose. With Yampol just having passed him. Can Yampol go for a double move? I think Goose slightly ahead on his screen than he was on everyone else's. Gets forced into the grass there. Yampol and Ike side by side. EK takes a bit of grass, still keeps in this fight. They're going to go down to the chicane side by side. Yampol does back out, and EK, with those humongous balls, manages to get through that chicane in one piece into 10th place.
Alright, we have Zeki fell down into 7th, 8th place, fighting with Toli here. Toli, who has also only done one stop. Oh, and we see clouds being announced again. Just before we saw the weather marker moving right up to the edge of the rain, but no rain came at all. So we'll have to see how it goes. And Kader and Smirnov are still fighting for position.
Look at that. It's amazing. 3rd place on the table between the Colombian and the Russian, and they go wide through there. Still managed to maintain the speed, and Tomatoes. Really impressive to see this performance from him so far. 5th place for him, chasing down maybe a JL podium. Believe it would be his first. And towards the end of last CL season, showed some promise. He's still mainly at the back, but now here he goes up the inside of Smirnov. Can he try and make a move? To the last corner they go. Kada, I think, was just dragged wide, and Emma Box, the teammate of Tomatoes, going to be all over him. Smirnov tries to cover off the gap here. Can he do it? Tomatoes does back out. He's not going to use the runoff on this occasion. Still stays in 4th place.
Wow, Tomatoes going all out, not letting down, and he got the position. He's in 3rd, a bit ahead of Smirnov, and I think he might be outside slipstream range. So we'll have to see if Tomatoes is able to hold on to that position.
This race belongs to Kiato at the moment. He's in 1st place. Let's have a look, because this would be about the time where you'd start to expect the second stop from anybody going for that ultra aggressive strategy, burning off all of the rubber on that soft tyre. But it looks like a lot of the field have gone soft hard, hard soft, and a bit of medium in the mix, maybe 10 laps on those, but that is already pretty much stretching it. Kiato does go in. This is what we love to see, but I think he already had a pit stop on 2nd place Gwetzley. Will Gwetzley emerge near to Kiato? Kiato hits that pit exit, gets the short line through turn 1.
Wow.
You see it in Canada, you see it in Montevideo, and that 2-stop strategy is absolutely brilliant for Kiato. He was able to just craft that gap, make that work for him, and he's already gotten all the space that he needs. Ooh, this changes it a little bit. Rain is on the way.
So Kiato ended up just losing time with that pit stop, unfortunately, even though his softs were indeed faltering by the time he pitted, so he didn't have much choice. Oh.
He'll stay out the way of Gwetzley if he can.
There you go.
Drives through those boxes. Still out in the lead. Emma Box in as well. Anybody who has taken that second stop will be ruining this. Ooh.
Is anyone staying out?
Inters or anyone staying out? Looks like
Jan Paul.
Jan Paul. Go on, man. Stay out. Yes. Love you. Smirnoff on the Inters is a really interesting choice. I think those could really come into effect because the track will start drying within the next 10 to 15 seconds. And that water level, which already isn't going to be full, will only decrease from there. Obviously, a long enough stint to probably justify the Inters. To be honest, not sure if we really encourage Jan Paul to do the right thing.
Yeah.
But should be interesting to see if Smirnoff can make up positions. He's what? Oh, he takes a boat out of contest, and we have issues.
That ain't good.
That ain't good at all. But we are back.
Okay, so... Alright, so Kiato still has a hefty lead to Gwetzley. While Gwetzley did get some advantage there with the rain, it would still take a big crash for Kiato to fall down enough. And we see also a big three-way fight here with two Tank Aromas, and, well, Jan Paul fell behind because of his arts.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that works for him, but it's very nearly the end of the race. Kiato starts his 3rd from final lap. Let's just have a look at those. Ooh, I think it was... Is it Smirnoff? No, Tomatoes in the pit lane, that's right. Tomatoes is in the pits. He's the first. Has he gone a lap early there? I fear that he might have done. Toli's going to come out, and those wets should still be better than the softs as we see them wind their way through turn 4, I believe it is. Not sure, the track creator hasn't properly discussed that. But Tomatoes, I think, just jumped the gun on that, to be totally honest. Smirnoff's Inters look to be working relatively well. Look at Kada and Emma Box right there for 4th and 5th. Well,
Yeah.
they were. Emma, I think, might have touched a little bit of grass there.
And I
Smirnoff
wonder
stays
if
out.
it's even worth it for Smirnoff to pit at this point. The enters
No.
aren't too bad in the dry.
That's right. That's absolutely right. And he's only got 2 laps left. Once racing resumes after this lag clears up, Kiato still has that lead, and we're going to wait for these to normalize. The rain's coming back, and we have no idea what's going on at this point.
Wow.
Gwetzley is in second. The rain is coming back. Smirnov has just gifted himself a podium if the rain comes to his avail right now, but Zekis is right behind on fresh soft compound tyres. We saw these two fight it out in Sunday League Season 5 at Assen. They're here in Journeyman League Season 4. What a throwback that is, but they're going to be scrapping it out,
Oh.
and the rain is leaving again. This is chaos, but it should be really interesting. The rain's coming down, absolutely pouring it down in buckets now, and Kiato wins in Journeyman League by a very healthy margin. Gwetzley will take second position, and a bit behind them, it looks like the rain had come just in time. Yampol and Trixie go off, Zekis does too, and Smirnov will take the champagne. That's third place, a podium for the Russian driver. The team it's going at it here.
Emma Box being able to overtake Tomatoes due to the tire advantage, it's just incredible. It's a huge advantage when you have softs on even the slightest wet track. It's just impossible to drive it.
Absolutely.
That's really unfortunate for Zekis. He was running third and lost it right at the end.
What a race that was. We're right into Challenger League now. As soon as these drivers finish, we're going to be screenshotting those results, and off we go. To this... Rain's coming back. Brilliant. Brilliant. Brilliant.
And Jan Paul ran the hards to the end.
Yeah, respect the dedication. 1 stop for Yampol, 4 for some of the other drivers. Here's the results.
Weird one.
There we go with Kiato in first place, taking the fastest lap as well with a sub 32, one of only 2 people to do that. Gwetzley in second, not too far behind. Smirnov in third, being able to get it past Zeke is in fourth. Kader with a 5th place, so he managed to climb back after the poor quali. Emma Box in 6th, Tomatoes, Ikaloski, 2Tank, and Stefano running out the top 10. Then we have Goose, Toli, and Trixie. The Romas finishing 14th. Jan Paul and Fox in 16th place.